Hello and welcome to another edition of IIABCAL Voices. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. And we're talking to the grand sponsor of the upcoming InsurPATH conference. It's virtual, November 4th through 6th this year. You can go to InsurPATH.org for more details, or IIABCAL.org for more details. We're talking to the grand sponsor, Zenith Insurance Company. We're talking to two great gentlemen who are going to give us a little insight to why they're sponsoring the conference, and also a few other things. I want to introduce you to two men. They're great, doing great stuff there. One is the Senior Vice President, Regional Manager, Bryan Anderson. Hi, Bryan.
Howdy.
And I was talking to the other one about working at Ralph's years ago off camera, and I'm going to talk about that. He is the Chairman of Zenith Insurance Corporation, and it is Jack Miller. Jack Miller, how you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good, good. So for people out there, a lot of people think—
Shall we get started?
We're going to get started. So a lot of people out there, they think that when you say sponsorship, you're just sending some money, but it's much more than that. And I wanted to find out from maybe Jack, you can kick this off, your long-standing relationship with IIABCAL and why you are investing in this InsurPATH conference.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we do have a very long relationship with IIABCAL. And I want to talk a little bit, very briefly, what we do, but more importantly, why we do it. So we've long been recognized as big supporters, both as a company and myself individually, and all the years that I've been in the business. The support we've given, though, has been beyond just the financial. Over time, we have provided training at many conferences. I've done some of that myself. I've been, along with Bryan, on the Blue Ribbon Council for many years, and I'm pleased to say that we've been fortunate enough to provide some of the really wonderful speakers that that the conference has had. And from time to time, when asked, we're asked for counsel and guidance by the association, and we've been very willing and glad to do it. That's kind of what we do. But the real question is why, and it really boils down to our sponsorship helps the association educate, train agents, current agents and future agents, and prepare them for the future. And it's essential to the health of our industry. I want to briefly talk about three things.
Perfect.
In this area. One, many firms just can't afford to provide the training that they need to. And I'll talk about that in a minute. The association provides opportunities second to none in terms of helping agents build relationships that they might not have were they not a part of the association or participating with the association. And I also want to comment on the fact that our world is changing dramatically, and there are many new challenges in front of all of us. And the association is and will continue to play a very big part in helping us all deal with that. It's essential that the next generation of trusted advisors continue to develop, because our environment is getting much more complex. It will continue to, and you know what? The public demands it. The problem is, I've had the occasion, and a lot of our people have had the occasion to talk to many agencies in California. And one of the biggest frustrations they have is many of them don't have the time, the money, or the resources to train the people the way they want to. They hire good people, right, but training them and maintaining them becomes very difficult. Yeah. In my opinion, and I think the opinion of our company, IIABCAL provides a key role in providing up-to-date content. They take the burden off of many agents, and they give agents and brokers the knowledge and the training that is so desperately needed.
They do.
The other thing that I think we recognize very much is our sponsorship monies don't just go to education and training. They go to conferences like this, in the good old days before pandemic, and hopefully the good old days will come back again.
Yeah.
the association puts on seminars and conferences, various events, and it allows people to get together and form and continue to build relationships. And I know I've talked to some young people who are kind of questioning in today's world of COVID and technology whether or not relationships are going to be as important in the future. And let me assure you, if you only remember one thing, this is a people business. It was, it is, and it will continue to be. And I think those that embrace it and in the best ways will find that they have not only more fun in their career, but a longer, more rewarding one. Lastly, I just want to comment that we recognize that Californians are experiencing some of the most difficult times, certainly in recent history and in my memory. Many of our businesses, including our agents and brokers, are working hard to survive the challenges brought on by this pandemic. And added to the top of that, wildfires that seem to be unrelenting and not letting up. To make it even more complex, our well-meaning legislators are looking for ways to deal with these issues, and they're coming up with laws and regulations that provide new challenges for us and things that we have to adapt to. The people in California, the businesses, need well-trained, well-educated, well-respected, trusted advisors to help them make informed decisions. And we believe at Zenith, through our sponsorship of the association, we believe that in some small way, we're contributing to the knowledge and professionalism of our industry. That's why we do what we do.
Jack, you guys are. And I remember you guys back from my agribusiness days. I remember back in the day, Zenith was part of that, part of that too. And you're right, Jack. I say it on this show all the time. This is a people industry. It's a people industry.
It is.
And not forget that. It's
no.
For people, by people, with people, all the time. So that's
without it, you don't have much.
you don't, right? I mean, like literally, you don't. So I'm with you on that, especially now. Leading into people, Bryan, I want to ask you a little bit about perpetuation. You mentioned a little bit in his speech about perpetuation in this industry. We do want this industry to continue. Insurance is great. We continue doing.
Right.
Can you speak to a little bit? I know Zenith is behind that also. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Sure, be glad to. And as you guys had talked about, it is a people oriented business. I have a young son that just got in the business in the last year.
Okay.
And he's working. Yep, he's working at a independent agency here in San Diego. And we talk about his entry into the business. Jack and I have each been in the business for over 40 years. And we're always looking to assist young people getting in. But it's not just young people. It's really important to talk about the education. So when I talk to my young son about perpetuation, about getting in business and being successful, because it is a great business. This industry has been really good to all of us, and we want to see that to continue. So, I tell him to continue to focus, like we do at Zenith and the most successful companies, on evolving those deep partnerships and relationships with agents, with policyholders, with the clients that he's trying to write their business. And look, if you're in a relationship with anybody, it's just good business to show interest, to show understanding on both sides, to have some empathy, and then transparency to anybody you're trying to establish a relationship with. And in insurance, we work with a service product, right? We're not selling cars. And so it's not a real tangible product. So that intangibility is going to be tested from time to time. It's going to be verified. Hey, you said that you were all this. Is that really going to happen? Yeah. And it really takes those kinds of relationships over a period of time. Otherwise, the seller is going to be at a disadvantage. So we talk about things like trust and integrity. And I know Jack has worked with the IIAB in prior conferences to talk about that issue of integrity in the business today. there's a lot of data, there's a lot of information from an underwriting standpoint or a claim standpoint. You have to be able to trust each other with the information that's provided. It's fundamental to the business. You need to show a flexibility in what you're doing, because not everybody's going to get what they want.
Right.
And that's important as you're developing, through your career. That integrity is everything, and you establish that early. I think also when you're meeting with folks in the whole perpetuation issue, teach people to keep those business decisions and ultimate decisions at the business level, not the personal level. We've learned that over the years, because resentment is hard to overcome. And again, that's where the empathy comes in. You guys were talking about support for the independent agency system. We try to do that again at the local level. We can do that, whether it's with local I-Days, officer installation events that you have, fundraising events. We'll do community fundraising events with agencies and give back to the community, whether it's dollars or time. And then, the education that we talked about, this is a complex business. Whether you're an emerging producer, and you need to learn, and we've provided that kind of education and training, or whether it's the Blue Ribbon Conference that Jack spoke of, InsurPATH that's going on right now. We were just on the phone in the last month talking to agency principals about Senate Bill 1159 and the executive order. These are very complex legal issues that we have to educate our agents about. So everything that Jack said about the trusted advisor, the education, works hand in hand with perpetuation. And the bottom line for all of this really is that the independent agency system is so critical to California's economy. It's critical to us, the carriers that do business with the independent agents. And when tough times come, whether it's a difficult decision on a coverage, or whether it's a pandemic, you've got to count on those relationships that you've developed, that education, that trust, and that integrity that you've developed over time.
Totally makes sense to me. Totally makes sense to me. I get it. I totally get it. Jack, any last words on that at all, or?
No, yes, one last one. I think, we get asked a lot about perpetuation. There's no simple answer, but I have found over time, if you demonstrate, whether you're a company, whether you're an agent or broker, if you demonstrate that you really care about the people that work for you, that you provide them tools to allow them to become proficient at what they do and therefore successful, it's not a guarantee, but it certainly goes a long way towards that end.
I like that. Well, both of you are amazing. Thank you for your service to our industry. Seriously, you both are. And I've talked to you off camera and on, and you guys are great. And thank you, Zenith, for the grand conference sponsorship of the InsurPATH conference.
Well, we're proud to do it. It's our pleasure, and we wish everyone well and good health, and let's get back to normal as soon as is reasonable for all of us.
I agree. Jack Miller, Bryan Anderson, thank you for your time. I'm James Lott Jr. This is IIABCAL Voices. You can find us on every streaming service you can think of. That's from iHeartRadio to Spotify to Google and Apple. And then a video version of this is on my network, JLJ Media. We're 30 shows, and we're on there. You can watch this episode, other sponsorship episodes, and also just agents and brokers we have in the industry. We talk to them weekly and ask them about their time in the industry. Thank you so much for joining us. The InsurPATH conference is November 4th through 6th. Go ahead and go to insurpath.org for details, and we will see you next time. Take care, everyone.